Hello. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alasdair Douglas, Chair of LawWorks, the Solicitors Pro Bono Group. May I welcome you all to a very special evening, our annual awards. We instituted our annual awards to celebrate the contributions that so many of you, lawyers and law students, make to those with legal problems but without the means to pay. Tens of thousands of individuals each year and many charities and not-for-profit organisations are given advice each year on a pro bono basis. Individual and family lives have been immeasurably improved by your efforts. Parents and children, husbands and wives, partners, tenants, members of minority groups, people with disabilities, victims of domestic abuse, employees whose rights have been ignored, immigrants, asylum seekers, and many, many more have all benefited from your expert, free legal advice. In-house legal departments, large and small private practices, other charities, local authorities, universities and law schools all help provide the infrastructure and resources which underpin individual efforts, and we'd like to recognise their immense contribution. Living through a pandemic has brought extra strains to some of the relationships I mentioned earlier, and this has required ingenuity on the part of individuals and the organisations to find a way to continue with their pro bono work. We're here this evening to celebrate everything that you have done during the last year and to recognise some truly outstanding contributions by naming winners of our annual awards. Society owes you all a great debt. Society doesn't have a ready mechanism to thank you publicly for your contributions, so I will say thank you on behalf of society generally and on behalf of everyone whom you have helped. You are all winners. And now it's over to Matthew Stadlen and Christina Blacklaws, who are our live hosts for the evening.
Alasdair, thank you so much for that, and I hope everyone watching appreciated your very dinky Christmas tree. Good evening, everyone, wherever you are. It's so good to have you with us. I'm Matt Stadlen. I'm a presenter, a producer, and a writer, and a birdwatcher, and I'm very pleased to welcome you to the LawWorks Annual Pro Bono Awards 2020. Now, this really is a key event, as you know, in the LawWorks calendar, but this year there's a difference, as you can see, in that we can't sadly celebrate the awards in person. This year has changed everything for the moment, although it's a very good news vaccine day. So instead, the awards are being brought to you live in your homes and offices from a studio right here in Wapping, LawWorks' first ever virtual awards ceremony. Tonight is an opportunity to recognise and celebrate the pro bono commitment of LawWorks members, also their charities and other partners, and indeed the work of independent clinics in the LawWorks network. We're going to be talking to the winners live, although I hope you'll keep your remarks relatively short. This isn't an Oscars ceremony, and hopefully you'll see there's a chat panel on the right of the YouTube screen where you can comment and get involved. Who knew that lawyers were cool enough to understand how to use YouTube? Please do tweet about the nominees you're supporting or congratulating using the hashtag LawWorks Awards. And if you want to boost my dwindling Twitter profile, I'm one of the few people who actually loses Twitter followers, you can find me at Matthew Stadlen. You can also find, much more importantly, my co-host tonight on Twitter as well. I'm pleased to be co-hosting. I'm delighted, actually, to be co-hosting these awards with Christina Blacklaws. And given that you are a former president of the Law Society yourself, you probably couldn't have been born with a more apt name.
I've never heard that before, Matt.
I thought you might say that. Christina's been a lifelong campaigner for access to justice, to diversity, inclusion, and also innovation in the profession. So Christina, over to you.
Well, thank you, Matt. For tonight's celebration, technology offers us the opportunity to do things a little differently, although I expect most of us have become more than accustomed to online events over the past months. We can all interact virtually now, and through the magic of YouTube and video platforms like this, we can reach people in ways that we couldn't before. I'm delighted to be here, thrilled to be out of my slippers, and we have a fantastic range of finalists tonight. In fact, there was a really high number of nominations this year, notwithstanding the challenges of the pandemic, demonstrating your commitment to keep doing pro bono in our very difficult times. The different award categories aim to capture the breadth and the diversity of pro bono and the difference made by individuals, local communities, social enterprises and charities.
I know, Christina, that your slippers will be very glamorous, but your high heels are even more glamorous. But sadly, I don't think we quite have the technology to pan down. So you'll have to imagine Christina's very glamorous shoes at home. And just make sure that this isn't seen as a sexist remark. I also have very glamorous shoes on as well. Beautiful. I cleaned them with a bit of loo paper before I came out. Sorry, apologies. There are many people who... Yes. There are many people who have made tonight's awards possible. LawWorks would like to thank, of course, the judges for their time and also their care in selecting the shortlist and for choosing the winners. So thank you to Adam, to Chris, to Heidi, to Koza, to Mark, Paul, Ruth, Stephanie, and also to Yasmin. They've had, as you might imagine, a really difficult job with so many high-quality nominations to choose between. We're also grateful for the support of LexisNexis, as we were last year. They're the awards sponsor. So let's hear a brief word from James Harper, executive sponsor, Rule of Law and CSR.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be speaking to you this evening for the LawWorks Pro Bono Awards. On behalf of LexisNexis, I'd like to extend my sincere congratulations to everyone who's been nominated and shortlisted for the awards this evening, and I'm really looking forward to finding out who has won. At LexisNexis, we have a long-standing commitment to advancing the rule of law around the world. It's in everything that we do. It's in all parts of our business, whether that's providing content and solutions into the legal world or by providing technology which helps lawyers to work more effectively. We also do this through other projects that we take on, and this year has been no exception. We've been working on our digital PIP tool and on other technology projects that help to drive and support efficiency in the free legal advice community. We've been hosting thought leadership events and writing and commenting in the press and elsewhere where there are challenges to the rule of law, and that's certainly been the case this year, perhaps more than any other. And we've been supporting our partners and those that we work closely with in the work that they do, which is critical in protecting the rule of law in the UK. And one of those examples is LawWorks. I'm delighted with the long-standing relationship we've had with LawWorks, and that's meant that we are still sponsoring and supporting these awards this year. When we think about the rule of law in the UK, we know one of the areas in which it is most threatened is around access to legal advice and support, often at a moment in the darkest point of someone's life when they need legal help, they can't access it. But it's the people who are in this room tonight, or this virtual room at least, who make the biggest difference there, providing their support on a pro bono basis to ensure that as few people as possible are left behind in that moment. So, a huge thank you to you for all that you do and for everything you're doing to support those people, both on our behalf and on their behalf. LexisNexis is truly delighted to stand alongside you and help support in any way that we can. Look forward to enjoying the evening. I hope you all do too, and hopefully get to see you all in real life sometime soon.
There are many reasons why law firms and individual practitioners volunteer with clinics and other projects and work with law schools and charities to deliver legal pro bono. Pro bono forms part of professional development for many lawyers and demonstrates how committed the profession is to the rule of law. But Most importantly, it's a way to help people, often in desperate need of legal advice and representation. So we'd like to turn briefly to some messages of support and thanks from leading figures from across the legal community.
I am Leslie Thomas, a law professor at Gresham College and a senior barrister and Queen's Counsel at Garden Court Chambers. Let me say at the outset that I would like to congratulate the winners of the LawWorks Annual Pro Bono Awards. It's a real honour to be able to participate in this event. There is no doubt that 2020 has been a very difficult year for many, but I am only too happy to provide my voice to these awards, which rewards excellence in the area of pro bono service. Personally, I believe we should all provide pro bono support. It's an excellent cause. I have spent many years providing pro bono support to families in inquests, and in my later years I've been providing free legal support and advice for the islanders of Barbuda in their fight for their land rights. I suppose the point I'm making is the provision of pro bono support should be supported at both ends of the profession, not just those who are starting out and are expected to do a bit of free work, but also to those of us who have a great deal of experience and can provide our years of service and knowledge to those who need it. It's a truism that to fight legal battles for justice can be an expensive process. The legal process is expensive, lawyers are expensive, and litigation is expensive. All too often, the enforcement of rights can only be done with the full weight of the law in support. And the rule of law cannot operate properly if it is one-sided. Accordingly, to ensure that the mechanisms of law are fully deployed to protect rights, this needs dedicated lawyers who are prepared to fight for clients. Many of the cases we do involve a disparity between those representing agents of the state, those representing large organisations, and on the other side of the coin, those representing the oppressed, the poor, or the small person. There is no case where this is more apparent than in the field of human rights work. These cases often involve the large organisation with deep pockets being lawyered up to the teeth and thrown every penny it has in the defence of its reputational name, whereby the small person will usually struggle to get lawyers to assist with representation. It's all too easy with the cards stacked against the small person for their rights to be trodden on. Now, whilst pro bono work will never be a proper replacement for an adequately and properly funded, fair legal aid system, it nevertheless serves a useful and vital purpose. For many, it is a lifeline in the defence of important civil rights. So, I salute all of you who continue to give your time for such a good cause. Well done to the winner, and as I've said before, long may lawyers supporting pro bono continue. Thank you.
Congratulations to LawWorks, the award winners, and to everyone who does pro bono work. I'm Fiona Woolf. I was president of the Law Society in 2006-07, when pro bono was, well, not in its infancy, but definitely a teenager. And if I can mix my metaphors, it was not part of the mainstream. But thanks to LawWorks and all of you, it is now firmly embedded in what we do in our profession as the not-so-new normal. What I loved about everyone that I met through LawWorks was that they were so encouraging, and they provided us with training that enabled us to increase the quality and quantity of the pro bono work that we carried out. It greatly enhanced the reputation of the profession and contributed enormously to society. So thank you to all who do pro bono work, and congratulations again.
Thank you, LawWorks, for inviting me to say a few words. I won an award in 2018 at the Pro Bono Awards, and it was presented by David Lammy MP, and that was a real highlight of my working life. So I just want to say thank you to everybody in the pro bono world who make a point of stressing that it would be great if there was no need for pro bono work, and that it is not a replacement for a properly funded legal aid system. So good luck to everyone who's been nominated. You may be nervous about winning, but can I just say that being nominated is an absolute achievement, because your colleagues, possibly clients, have written in support, and that's really important recognition. So good luck to everyone. Hope all goes well.
Hi there, this is Clive Stafford Smith. I'm the founder of the legal action charity Reprieve, and it's a great privilege to talk to you now. I was just going to say a few words about pro bono. I've always thought that's fascinating how people criticize pro bono, because of course the opposite of pro bono, for the good, is pro mala. I think I've got my Latin grammar right. I was always really bad at Latin. I don't think it's pro malum, I think it's pro mala, which is for the bad. And so therefore, when you're doing pro bono work, it is quintessentially what you should be doing. And it's fantastic, the things that people do. I look down the list of nominees. I see so many people I've worked with. I see Reed Smith there, and they list a number of things they've done, but they don't even list a bunch of things I've done with them on the death penalty. So they do a lot more than they're even bragging about. Same with Clifford Chance. I've worked with Clifford Chance mostly in America on Guantanamo Bay work. Fantastic. It's sort of interesting when you think, I do think Britain plays catch up in pro bono work, because the US actually bizarrely has done way more. I'm half American, and I normally apologize for the half of me that had Donald Trump as president, but actually they've done such great stuff over the years. I spent 26 years doing death penalty work, and the law firms who would come in and help us doing capital cases were amazing. But Britain is coming along, I say, in a slightly patronizing way. And, you know, one of your nominees I noticed was Ultra Law, that says the first not-for-profit law firm. You know, isn't that an illustration of what we need to do? I've set up 4 or 5 non-profit law firms in America, or helped set up those firms, and you know, most of them are still going years later. Really great to see the clinics. Another thing that in the US we had much more of. The things that clinics do are so good for students, so good for the people you represent. And I love to see the Greece Pro Bono project there too, because in a way, for me as a lawyer now for 36 years, that represents what we're really all about. It's about going out there and looking for powerless people, and then standing up for them. That's certainly what I've always done when I used to go, for example, to Yemen and talk to people there about either being droned or about being in Guantanamo. And these folk were totally powerless and could do absolutely nothing for themselves in a US court. Getting big firms, the power of those big firms to help the powerless, is just so important. So anyway, all I really want to do is say I'd love to work with you more for the next 20 years, or just keep it up. And congratulations to all your winners, and also congratulations to all the people who are not winners, because you're doing great stuff too. Thanks very much.
Congratulations to all those who've been shortlisted for LawWorks Pro Bono Awards from the Law Society of England and Wales. I am immensely proud to belong to a profession that makes such a valuable contribution to society and plays an important role ensuring everyone has access to justice by providing free legal advice to those who most need it. The Law Society is delighted to be able to support the work of LawWorks in facilitating and promoting pro bono, including these awards. At a time of crisis, the role of legal advice in helping people to access their rights is essential, and pro bono makes an important contribution to access to justice, and not in a way as a replacement for legal aid, which needs greater support, but as an addition to. Despite all the challenges of operating under COVID, this year has seen some strong nominations, and I was pleased to be able to take part in this year's judging panel, and inspired by the quality of nominations. I hope you enjoy the evening.
I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I've ever seen quite so many happy faces during the age of COVID. Thank you to all of you for waving so vigorously and for smiling, some of you through your masks. Thank you also, of course, to our esteemed contributors. We're honoured to have had you part of this ceremony. Now on to what you've really been waiting for, though, the winners of this year's awards. You can see, as I've just said, all those finalists waving very happily. Our first award of the evening is for best contribution by a small or medium firm. It's particularly important that the pro bono work of small and medium firms is recognised and celebrated. Many are at the front line in witnessing the impact of the reduction to legal aid and the challenges as well those without means face in accessing justice. It's not always easy for smaller firms to do pro bono, so where they go the extra mile, we should give particular applause and recognition. And if we were all together under one roof, as I hope we will be next year, we would be applauding you right now. The finalists for best contribution by a small or medium firm are Goodman, Derrick, and Ultra Law.
The winner is a firm that impressed all the judges with their innovative and purpose-driven approach. The firm describes itself as a not-for-profit law firm. Profits are given to causes which are chosen by clients, and staff are actively incentivised to undertake pro bono work. The award for best contribution by a small or medium firm goes to Ultra Law.
Nathan, it's so good to see you there on our screen. I know you put pro bono right at the heart of your firm. Tell us how it actually works for you in practice. But remember, although you should be a very happy man, and you are, judging by your smile, it's not the Oscars. I think you hadn't quite unmuted yourself there. You now have a chance to celebrate with real vigour.
Thank you very much. We have an opportunity for all of our lawyers to give back in the way that they want to most. So they get to choose the pro bono initiatives that they support. That's mostly acting for clients, but giving their time in law centres or in other free legal advice centres to enable them to support the causes closest to their heart as well. So it's important for us that we empower our employees and we give them the choice, the same as we give our clients the choice to choose the charities that they support.
Do you think that your model, Nathan, can work for other small firms?
I'm very much hoping that we are a pioneer in the legal industry, and I do sincerely hope that other law firms do follow our example. I've spoken with other firms who are making steps in that direction, and some of which are already donating all of their profits in a given financial year. So for me, I hope to be the first of many. I would welcome every law firm to follow that, not just have corporate social responsibility as a tick box, but actually put their money where their mouth is.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Nathan, and congratulations.
Thank you.
On to the second award of the night, Best Contribution by a Large Law Firm. All the finalists for this award deserve to be recognised for their pro bono commitment, and they should be immensely proud of their work and impact. They are all, in their own way, exemplars of volunteering and pro bono. The finalists for Best Contribution by a Large Firm are DLA Piper, Howard Kennedy, Morgan Lewis Bockius UK, and Reed Smith.
And the winner is a firm that has significantly grown its pro bono activity in recent years, supporting 3 in-person clinics, 4 remote and letter writing clinics, 5 projects delivering end-to-end casework, 4 international human rights projects, and 3 environmental partnerships. Projects include a partnership with Kids in Need of Defence UK, helping undocumented children with their immigration status. I don't think Donald Trump would approve. Providing advice on prison rights through the Prisoners Advice Service, and on EU law through the AIRE Centre. The firm's lawyers have also provided in-person advice on family law and domestic violence through a university house clinic and representation in disability benefit appeals. The firm has seen a significant increase in pro bono engagement and hours during lockdown, delivering an average of 1,900 hours of pro bono work a month from March to June. And we all know how difficult it is to operate during the pandemic, so special praise, I think, goes to you guys. The winner of Best Contribution by a large firm is Reed Smith.
Hi, congratulations on this win. So
thank you so much.
Oh, fabulous to have you here. So you're the firm's head of pro bono. What will this award mean to all those lawyers who've contributed so much to pro bono over this last year?
Yeah, I know they're all going to be thrilled. I wish I could have my colleague Jessica and our pro bono partner Michael on the call as well, because it really is a team effort in leading it. We're so impressed with our colleagues' commitment this year. We've done more pro bono than ever in a year that's been so difficult for so many. So I know they'll all be really delighted.
Why does Reed Smith support so many lawyers to do this pro bono work?
So we think it's a really important part of why people become a lawyer. We have these specialist skills that we can use in the community to really make a difference to the lives of people that can't otherwise access legal advice, and also those charities that are supporting them as well.
Becca, thank you so much. I'm glad to see you seem to be well stocked with alcohol to celebrate your success.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can probably also hear my dog, who decided that this was the moment to take a really big drink from her water bottle.
Well, I hope you've got someone to share it with. Congratulations again. Thank you so much for joining us. And also well done indeed. Our third award of the night is for best contribution by an in-house team or solicitor. In-house solicitors comprise a significant and growing proportion of the solicitor's profession. The contribution of in-house lawyers and in-house teams deserves particular recognition and encouragement, I think. There are 4 shortlisted nominations for this award, all deserving of celebration. And the finalists are BPP University. I think I tried to date someone from BPP when I was at City University doing my law conversion course. It's so long ago, you can tell by the white hairs on the side of my head that I can't even remember what I was up to. Anyway, I didn't go beyond a year. Did get a commendation though. Deborah Smith of Goldman Sachs, the founder of the in-house pro bono group, bringing together in-house pro bono lawyers to share knowledge, best practices and resources. And London Borough of Barking and Dagenham, not to forget, bringing up the rear, Visa.
So before coming to the winner, I should mention that BPP's in-house legal team has been highly commended by the judges for their work in supporting BPP's clinics to transform their services. Tonight's winner of the best contribution by an in-house team is an outstanding legal team that's partnered with their local citizens' advice and family law firms to offer free, independent and confidential advice on legal options to anyone experiencing domestic abuse. The legal team volunteer as honorary legal advisors with citizens' advice outside of office hours, and obviously coping with a significant increase in the rates of referrals for domestic violence with the onset of COVID. The winner is the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham in-house legal team for their work with DV Flag East.
Welcome to Fiona Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us. I can see a big smile about to erupt on your face. I think it's going to get bigger. There you go, even a laugh. The Director of Law and Governance at Acting Deputy Chief Executive in the Borough. So well done. Congratulations to you, and also, of course, to your hardworking team, generous team as well. How are you able to encourage the lawyers employed by the Borough, Fiona, to give free legal advice, to give free legal help in this way?
Well, I mean, we are extremely lucky that, you know, we have such a dedicated team of in-house solicitors, and they really do sort of give their time, and they're always looking for innovative ways to look with partners. And we're especially lucky that we've got a great relationship with our local Citizens Advice Bureau, and very committed local sort of family law solicitors who are really keen on being part of this project. So all in all, it's a really sort of unique partnership effort.
Have you got a very crisp, succinct piece of advice to the legal teams of other local authorities so they can follow in your footsteps?
I think it's about really understanding your communities, and, you know, as everybody knows, public services are stretched. There isn't a lot of money around. So it's really about prioritising what is the key thing affecting your community. And unfortunately, in Barking and Dagenham, we have a really high prevalence of domestic abuse. And, you know, as a set of lawyers, we thought about, you know, how can we come up with something and talk to our partners about what is impacting our residents? Because, you know, domestic abuse, as we all know, sort of impacts on other areas of our citizens' lives. And we knew from our Citizens Advice Bureau that people were coming through the door with housing needs, children's social care needs. And unfortunately, the root cause was domestic abuse.
Well, it's lovely to see you smile, be happy and celebrate your success, but it is such vital work that you do. It could not be more serious, particularly in a pandemic. So keep up the good work. You're an inspiration to so many. And I love the message in the background. Dream big, fight hard and live proud. Well done indeed to Fiona Taylor. Thank you so much. Well, all of the nominations shortlisted for the LawWorks Awards demonstrate the positive difference pro bono can make to individuals, families, their communities. If you haven't won an award, that doesn't mean you're not a winner. Really, I mean, it sounds cheesy. Piers Morgan might not consider you a winner. I think he only considers those who come first winners, but you are all winners because you are transforming the communities in which you work. Before our next awards, we hear from Sophie about the impact pro bono had for her and for her son Archie.
This is my son Archie, who's now 16. He has two life-limiting conditions. One of them is called mitochondria, and one of them is called bronchiectasis. The main thing for us as his family is that he has a happy life for as long as he can, and that he is not in any discomfort, and he is with people who love him and look after him to the best of their ability and appropriately. We have had care from the NHS, of course, since he was probably 18 months when he was diagnosed, and so we were getting 7 nights a week help with he wears a ventilator, as you can see. He's worn one for overnight for years, maybe 10 years, years and years. Unexpectedly, this 7 nights a week care was changed to 5 nights a week with carers. I was really, 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 really worried. Previously, we'd had a mixture of nurses and carers, which was ideal. You have nurses a couple of times a week to keep the standard up and make sure the drug chart's correct and the settings of the machines are correct and that kind of thing. But now they're proposing going down to me doing 2 nights a week and the rest being carers, which was absolutely horrifying. Also, I was worried about the standards of care. We'd had quite a rocky time with carers. We had carers who he fell out of bed, he was given too many of a particular medicine. We had people having fake car crashes. I mean, I really didn't know what to do. I asked the lady at hospice, a family liaison person, and she said pull Together for Short Lives, because I was frustrated that I could never express to the boards the
health boards that I wasn't allowed to attend, and I wasn't allowed to tell them what it was really like, getting up all night and looking after him, and the worry, constant worry that he was going to die like that. So I asked if they knew how I could get an advocate, and then Together for Short Lives told me about LawWorks. It was so brilliant to have someone to talk to who thought that I wasn't being unreasonable, I wasn't being a spendthrift, I wasn't not working hard enough to look after my child, and who thought what I was asking for was perfectly reasonable. One of the really difficult things about trying to organise your child's care is that you feel really emotional because it's your child, and also you're trying to work out the system, which means you keep on bursting into tears in meetings, and which isn't the way to convey your point of what's reasonable treatment for a person in the home. So they were really brilliant. LawWorks was very, very kind and intelligent and helpful, and we got 6 days from the NHS and 1 day from social services, and I got some personal health budget which I could spend on nurses. So it was really brilliant. I could get what I wanted, which was a balance of carers and nurses. Yeah, it really helped me think about how to look after Archie, and what was right and what wasn't right, and what was reasonable to ask for, and yeah, we're still having the benefit now. It's been fantastic. Thank you.
Sophie's story highlights the power of pro bono, some of the most difficult needs, and the urgency of the help that lawyers are able to give. We're so grateful to Sophie for allowing us to share her story. And our thoughts are with Sophie and her family at this incredibly difficult time. Our next award of the evening is the Junior Lawyers Division Pro Bono Award. Law students and trainees often discover a passion for pro bono that can last a career or beyond. And it is also inspiring that so many junior lawyers see pro bono as integral to what they do. And in fact, pro bono is part of being a lawyer. All those shortlisted for this year's Junior Lawyers Division Award have shown a commitment to pro bono above and beyond the call of duty, and we really celebrate their achievements. The finalists are Miriam Bandera, Reed Smith, Samuel Bass, Duncan Lewis Solicitors, Rafaela Gabrasadig, Travers Smith, Katrina Thompson, Baker Mackenzie. Before announcing the winner, the judges would especially like to recognise as highly commended Samuel Bass and Miriam Bandera.
Well done to both of you. The winner, though, is described as an outstanding lawyer who has worked on establishing a refugee housing charity and has assisted other charity registrations, such as Access Social Care. They also help drive the collaborative effort of UK lawyers to develop new contracts and model laws to help fight climate change. They've regularly attended a clinic in Bethnal Green, providing legal advice on a range of matters such as rent and housing disputes, and in addition supported other charities as a trustee and as a regular volunteer at a soup kitchen. The winner is Rafaela Gabrazadig of Travers Smith.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you
So
very much.
what does winning this award mean for you?
Oh, it's such an honour. Thank you very much. I think, as you said, it really is incumbent on all of us as lawyers to do what we can, and there have been excellent nominees as well.
Oh, well, you sound so incredibly busy. How do you fit it all in? And what keeps you going? What motivates you?
Well, that's a tough question. I think it's really important to do this type of work, and I enjoy it as well. I think our clients, when we do pro bono work, tend to be quite good as well, quite good fun, and extremely appreciative. And it's just important, I think, for me as well. The perspective you get when you're doing pro bono work, I think, is really important. So I think, you make time for things that are important, I suppose.
Raffaella, it's so good to have you with us. Many, many congratulations. And as someone whose surname is always mispronounced, because it was originally actually Stadlen, which was, I think, a Yiddish word for the go-between between Jews and Gentiles. So no one could ever get my name right. I can't even pronounce my own surname. I just want to make sure that we got your name right. And if we didn't, we want to hear it from you.
No, you did it very well. I mean, it's phonetical, so perfect. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's very, very kind of you, Raffaella.
Yeah, very good news. Well done. Thank you so much for joining us, Raffaella. Brilliant. Well, our fifth award of the evening is the best contribution by an individual. Individual lawyers with a passion for volunteering their time and expertise can be a real catalyst, inspiring and motivating others to become involved, helping to instill and grow pro bono engagement within a firm, in-house team, charity, or indeed law school. The number and quality of nominations for this category have been exceptionally high this year. The judges thought that all of the shortlisted nominations were worthy of recognition. The finalists are Priscilla Adokwe of Adelshaw Goddard, Anne Collins of Clifford Chance, Eddie Coppinger of Legal Advice Centre, University House, Sam Cotman of Travers Smith, Naga Kandia of MTC Solicitors, and Elle Todd of Reed Smith. Before announcing the winner, the judges would like to recognise two finalists as highly commended, and those are Priscilla Adokwe of Adelshaw Goddard and Naga Kandia at MTC Solicitors. Well done to both of you.
The winner of this year's individual award took up their posts only just before lockdown. They immediately led the development of new pro bono programmes and activities, including a domestic violence clinic supported by a specialist advocacy team, a partnership with Justice and Care to represent victims of human trafficking, and their firm's engagement in BAME youth justice issues. The winner of Best Contribution by an Individual is Sam Cotman at Travers Smith.
Well done, Sam. Give us an even bigger smile if you can. Yeah, that's better. We want to see your teeth. Well done. That's really fantastic. It sounds to me as though you had something of a baptism of fire when you started at the firm.
Yes, I've actually been at the firm for a very long time, since 2006, but I went into the role as Director of Pro Bono with overall responsibility in March, and 2 weeks in, we went into lockdown, so everything had to be done by Zoom, so it was a bit of a challenge.
How does it work, doing law by Zoom?
Well, the answer is you get to know people quite quickly because you're looking into their houses more than you would in a meeting room, but my job is largely about building relationships and developing programs so we can help people in the most strategic and impactful way. So I can do that over Zoom, and then I get the lawyers together, we structure the programs, and then we just get on with it and conduct all the hearings and the client interviews by Zoom and do everything we can.
And tell us, as a newly crowned winner, how individual lawyers such as yourself can inspire others around them to do pro bono.
I think awards like this are actually very helpful because it does energize those people that are thinking about getting involved but are a bit nervous. It shows the partnership who backed me in this role and made the commitment for the firm to do more in this space, that it will be recognized and that we're having an impact. And most of all, it means that we can get more lawyers and help more people, and that's ultimately what it's all about.
Well, it's wonderful to be joined by Sam, and congratulations to him. We now move across to our friends in Wales for this year's LawWorks Cymru Award. LawWorks has been supporting pro bono in Wales for a number of years and continues to expand and develop its work, with the recent announcement of a 5-year grant from the National Lottery Community Fund, focusing on legal clinics and volunteers. There are many truly inspiring examples of how volunteer lawyers, charities and law schools improve the lives of individuals and communities in Wales through pro bono. The finalists are Aberystwyth University Family Law Clinic, Citizens Advice Rhondda Cynon Taff, Duncan Lewis, Swansea Law Clinic, Hilary Rodham Clinton, who's she? School of Law, Swansea University, the University of South Wales Legal Advice Centre. Before announcing the winner, the judges would like to recognise as highly commended Duncan Lewis Solicitors and the University of South Wales Legal Advice Clinic.
Well done to both of you, but well done to everyone. And Wales is a place that is incredibly close to my heart. I've spent up to 16 weeks a year there during my lifetime. And in fact, before the pandemic, I think I'd been to 84 countries. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, that Wales is the most beautiful country in the world. But thank you so much for letting us win the rugby last weekend. The winner is a clinic that provides advice on housing, family, employment, equality and consumer issues, and has an expanding range of outreach and advice projects in the community, from prisons to health settings. They've also worked with New Legal Innovation Lab Wales to encourage innovation in legal tech and access to justice. The winner of the LawWorks Cymru Award is Swansea Law Clinic.
Lovely to see you, and many congratulations to you and the team. So, as well as having a very famous patron, you've managed to integrate the clinic into the law school and curriculum, but also into the third sector in the Swansea Bay area. How does this all enhance the student experience?
Oh, I think students get an awful lot out of this, and it's seeing law in action as opposed to law in books, and the challenges sometimes that people with rights have such difficulties in enforcing those rights. It brings all those issues home to them in a very vivid and real way.
Fantastic. And you've been very busy, but can you tell us a little bit about your plans for 2021, pandemic permitting?
Oh yes, we're hoping to open a new clinic in 2021. We'll carry on with the 7 law firms that we're working with, and the 3 charities, as well as the various networks. We're involved in Town Hill Children's Zone, which is a multi-agency network. So we're working with medics and so on and the local schools in order to enhance the opportunities for school children in a very sort of economically challenged area.
Nothing but ambitious then. Well done.
Diolch yn fawr.
So thank you very much for joining us, Richard. Our next category is Best Contribution by a Pro Bono Clinic. Across the country, LawWorks supports a growing network of independent legal advice clinics that are run by law schools, advice agencies and other charities, and sometimes in collaboration with law firms. Last year, clinics in the law firm network responded to, this is unbelievable, over 70,000 inquiries, providing advice, information or onward referral to people in need of support. As the LawWorks Clinics network goes from strength to strength, this map gives you just a glimpse of how far the clinics network reaches and some of the fantastic teams who work so hard to give free legal advice in their communities all over the country.
Well, it's pretty cool, Christina, isn't it, to see a map of the country showing the range of pro bono activities happening nationwide. Really impressive. It just makes you feel part of something very special. As I said at the beginning, I think it's just such an important thing, not just in the pandemic, but generally. And lawyers don't always have the best reputations, do they? You'll know that as a former president of the Law Society. This really helps, doesn't it?
This really helps, and this really matters. Yeah.
So, the shortlist for Best Contribution by a Pro Bono Clinic. This award recognises and celebrates the work and impact of clinics that are part of the LawWorks Clinics network. By the way, last year I did a lawyer's joke, or an anti-lawyer's joke, but you can't really tell. I've done so many Zoom events this year, and you can't really tell whether people are going to find them funny or cringe. So we'll stay away from the jokes. Does that make sense?
Maybe later on.
Unless you've got one up your sleeve. As we've just seen, there are over 300 independent clinics in the network, supported by thousands of volunteers, solicitors, barristers, legal executives and law students and law schools, each making a difference in their own way for individuals and communities. The finalists are Aberystwyth University Family Law Clinic, Drakina Webcam Advice Project, Drakina Community Centre, Legal Advice Centre, University House, Charles Russell Speechlys and White and Case. That's all one group. Islington, two, is it?
Yeah.
Apologies. That's two groups. Two groups. So we've got Drakina Webcam Advice Project, Drakina Community Centre, comma. Is that the right place for the comma? Just checking. You're the boss.
That's
Legal
great.
Advice Centre, University House, Charles Russell Speechlys and White and Case. Islington Legal Advice Centre, the Online Legal Clinic, Brixton Advice Centre, and the University of South Wales Legal Advice Clinic. Before announcing the winner, the judges would like to recognise as highly commended the work of Aberystwyth University Family Law Clinic. Well done.
The winner of the Best Contribution by a Pro Bono Clinic is an online legal clinic launched earlier this year in response to the COVID-19 pandemic to enable people to access pro bono legal advice remotely. The clinic uses cloud-based technology to allow lawyers to volunteer at a time and location that suits them. It reduces the administrative burden, automating tasks, and enabling staff and volunteer lawyers to work efficiently. Since opening, they've helped more than 300 clients. The winner of Best Contribution of a Pro Bono Clinic is the online legal clinic run by Brixton Advice Centre.
Well done, Harriet. That is a really good smile right from the off. I think you win biggest smile of the night. Well done. This is great news.
Thank you.
Just tell us, I've got a couple of questions to ask you, but I mean, it is a good moment, isn't it? It kind of makes you happy. Does it make it sort of all feel worthwhile?
It really does. I mean, there's a real intrinsic happiness that comes from being able to help people even at their most desperate times. But also being on here, it's a real honour. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how your remote volunteering system actually works in practice.
Okay, so we have a cohort of really amazing lawyers who give of their time. They give around 3 hours a month, if not more. Some of them give up to 8 hours. They take on inquiries, they respond to people. As I've said, in the most time of need, they will respond to people's queries. And then we also signpost on, or we refer on as well.
Harriet, really good of you to join us. Amazing work. Congratulations to you and everyone involved. Quite a cool virtual backdrop you've got as well.
Brixton.
Stay safe, stay well. Well done to Harriet. Congratulations as well, though, to everyone involved in the new online clinic at Brixton Advice Centre. Now, our next award of the evening is Best International Pro Bono Award, and that's in partnership with A4ID. The profession's pro bono work extends beyond the UK, as the award title would suggest, to impact positively upon individuals, organisations and communities around the world. Last year, we introduced the Best International Pro Bono Award for the first time in partnership with Advocates for International Development to recognise and celebrate significant and impactful international pro bono work. To tell us just a little bit more about this award, we'd now like to hear from Yasmin Batliwala, who's the Chief Executive of A4ID and also one of our judges.
Good evening. I'm Yasmin Batliwala, the Chief Executive of Advocates for International Development, or A4ID. The legal sector's invaluable pro bono work extends increasingly beyond our own borders to impact upon individuals, organisations and communities around the world. In its second year now, the International Pro Bono Award, in a collaboration with A4ID, recognises the growing contribution of lawyers to work within the arena of international pro bono and the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, or Global Goals as they're known. The range of work covered by law firms nominated for Best International Pro Bono Award is a testament to the far-reaching impact of the UK legal sector's pro bono assistance. This year's nominations include the creation of model law to end female genital mutilation, the decriminalisation of homosexuality in Belize, and the championing of LGBTQ rights, as well as many other significant causes. Those who've been nominated have worked with grassroots organisations such as bar associations, non-government organisations, international organisations and social enterprises, highlighting the crucial importance of building partnerships for sustainable development. The law firms who've been shortlisted for the Best International Pro Bono Award are pioneering the way, and they are an excellent example of the two other law firms also seeking to align their work more closely towards the Sustainable Development Goal agenda. Thank you.
The finalists for Best International Pro Bono Award this year are the FGM Model Law, Cleary, Gottlieb, Stein and Hamilton, Latham and Watkins and Reed Smith. The Greece Pro Bono Collaborative Project, Allen and Overy, Ashurst, Charles Russell Speechleys, Dentons, Oric, White and Case, together with the European lawyers in Lesvos. The Human Dignity Trust team at Debevoise and Plimpton, and Human Rights Watch and Clifford Chance. Before announcing the winner, the judges would like to recognise as highly commended Human Rights Watch and Clifford Chance and the Human Dignity Trust team at Debevoise and Plimpton.
And well done to all of you. This is such an important area of law. The winner is a unique project that has captured widespread attention. It's literally life-changing and life-saving as well for many, operating under the most difficult conditions. The collaboration of international firms works with an NGO to help in a major humanitarian and refugee crisis, one that has reached our TV screens, of course, so that many can achieve safe asylum passage. The winner of the Best International Pro Bono Award is the Greece Pro Bono Collaborative Project.
So we're joined this evening by Philip Worthington of European Lawyers in Lesvos, directly from the island of Lesvos. Philip, how has the support of these firms helped you with your vital work? And many congratulations, first off.
Thank you very much. We're honoured and delighted to have been chosen for this award. The assistance of the firms is absolutely fundamental. The lawyers who come and assist us, and initially they would come out in person, but now obviously with Corona, they're assisting remotely. They bring a huge amount of expertise, enthusiasm, resources, commitment, and I think they've really given us a different way of looking at the issues and working on the issues to improve our overall organisation and basically fundamentally be able to assist more people.
Well, we're absolutely humbled by the work that you are doing, but working collaboratively with so many partners can have its challenges, can't it? But what are the benefits of working with a number of law firms?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. And I have to say that it has been nothing but a pleasure working with all 6 firms and their pro bono teams. We have hardly ever had any issues, and all matters have been resolved very democratically. And of course, having 6 major law firms working in a collaboration like this really brings a variety of different perspectives and different views. Obviously, we approach this from an NGO perspective, working on the ground, and that is a slightly different perspective from a large law firm perspective. But I think the law firms really bring something unique to the collaborative, and as I said, really helps improve the work that we do here on the ground.
Well, many, many congratulations to you, Philip, and to all those law firms. And thank you so much. And we'll be hearing more about collaboration, innovation and partnership in pro bono a little bit later.
Yeah, thank you so much, Philip. Keep up the good work, everyone involved in that. As we've seen already through many of the awards this evening, pro bono doesn't exist in a vacuum. You know that, we all know that. It's important to make the point. The legal professions, charities, law schools show considerable innovation in developing pro bono projects and responding to emerging issues and challenges. The Best New Pro Bono Activity Award recognises the breadth and quality of relatively new pro bono initiatives and partnerships, each making a difference, enabling access to justice, but also supporting legal capability and empowerment. The finalists are the Online Legal Clinic, Brixton Advice Centre, the Entrepreneurial Refugee Network and Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen and Hamilton, Dad's House Legal Advice Clinic, Hertfordshire Law Clinic, University of Hertfordshire, Solent Mind and Shoesmiths, and Domestic Violence Advocacy Unit, Travers Smith. And before announcing the winner, the judges would like to highly commend Hertfordshire Law Clinic, University of Hertfordshire.
This year's winner of New Pro Bono Activity has seen the establishment of a new social enterprise which has launched the Legal Toolkit. It's an accessible guide for refugee entrepreneurs taking the first steps of their business journey in a new jurisdiction and culture, supported by a clinic consultancy service. The winner is Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen and Hamilton and the Entrepreneurial Refugee Network.
And we're joined by Sienna from Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen and Hamilton. Congratulations to you, Sienna. Tell us how you came up with the idea for this initiative.
Thank you so much. Truly an honour. Really incredible nominees this year. Turn created an organisation that allows refugees to thrive through the power of their own ideas. They work one-to-one to help people set up businesses. So we really just thought it would be incredible to create a bespoke partnership with them tailored to these individuals. We were able to join forces and first create the legal toolkit and then these kind of additional clinics which have now moved to a remote setting in COVID. And it's been just such a successful partnership. It's been a real pleasure to work with Turn and all the entrepreneurs.
Where do you see it going? And is there scope for growth, do you think?
I think there's huge scope for growth. At the moment, we're making the toolkit digital, which is a really exciting project so people can access all of the resources online. And we're looking to translate it into different languages like Arabic so people can access it in different countries and in different languages and cultures as well. So I think there's definite scope for growth here.
Really, really good work, Sienna. Your name makes me think of the town in northern Italy that I'd love to go to as one of my first destinations when all this COVID stuff is, we hope, in the past. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for joining us. And also, thank you for being so succinct. It's incredible. It's as though people knew that they were going to win, which you didn't. You didn't know, did you?
No, I didn't know at all. No.
And yet, like all the other winners, you've been so succinct, you've been so articulate, been so brief. It's been absolutely perfect. So thank you, and keep going with the good work, because it really matters.
They are all lawyers.
Well, I know, but they're putting journalists like me to shame. I mean, I'm paid to be a presenter in life, and I can't be remotely as concise as you guys. Have you got any tips, Fiona? Any top tips?
Always prepare a little something just in case.
Just in case. That's a very good point. Thank you so much. Well done. Great to hear from Sienna, and congratulations to the team as well. Now, the next two awards demonstrate how the pro bono sector is able to adapt, innovate, and develop new partnerships, an approach close to the heart of our sponsor, LexisNexis. So now we go to them to hear just a few words from James Harper again.
The next category this evening is for Best Virtual or Digital Pro Bono Activity, and this one is a topic which is particularly close to my heart. I spend a lot of time, both in my day job and in the work that I do to support the rule of law, thinking and talking about how digital activities can help to drive efficiency and effectiveness. When we look at the advice sector, we're not talking about massive, big legal projects. We're not talking about replacing lawyers with robots. We're not even talking about AI. We're talking about simple uses of technology that, if used smartly, can help deliver efficiencies and enable the advice sector itself to get to more people who need them. The examples that we're going to see tonight in the nominations are doing exactly that. They're using digital in the best ways to enable them to serve more people and focus their time on those that cannot access through digital routes. So, let's find out who's won.
Well, I'm particularly excited about this award as those who know me know that I chair a government panel in law tech. So I feel like this is my area. So the next award is for Best Digital or Virtual Pro Bono Activity. And this year has been extraordinary and unprecedented for us all. And under the restrictions of COVID-19, pro bono providers have had to really pivot towards remote delivery. As James has just said, for this year's awards, LawWorks decided to introduce this new category of Best Digital or Virtual Pro Bono Activity. And the award recognises activity that extends pro bono through virtual or digital means, whether by phone, email, online, or through a virtual platform. The finalists are Justice Hub COVID-19 Virtual Vac Scheme, University of Manchester, Advice Portal, Legal Advice Centre, University House, RCJ Advice and Advocate, and the South Westminster Legal Advice Centre.
Well, the winner is a clinic that prior to March, everything changed in March, of course, or earlier perhaps, operated entirely on a face-to-face basis. Following lockdown, they were able to develop and coordinate an entirely virtual method of administering the advice service, including a new virtual case management system and a new way of working for volunteer lawyers, which is entirely paperless. With triage requests coming in every day, the service has managed to respond to demand effectively and to supervise lawyers appropriately. The winner of Best Digital or Virtual Pro Bono Activity is the South Westminster Legal Advice Centre.
Elaine, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Looking back now to all those months ago, can you remember how easy was it to go virtual?
Yes, not at all is the answer to that. Yes, we were thrown into complete turmoil, as I'm sure many other law centres up and down the country were. My understanding is that a lot of legal advice centres were entirely paper-based, and so they were in much the similar position to we were. We were very fortunate, however, because We were supported heavily by LawWorks in our transformation. I don't know what we would have done without them. And of course, we were very fortunate to be provided with a case management system by Intralinks for free being the key word. And so we're entirely grateful to those also. But I think one of the really important things was our fantastic volunteers who, you know, were just so willing to embrace this, to roll up their sleeves and to give it a go. And I think that's one of the main reasons that this has worked, because of them.
So it wasn't easy, but you did it. And what's the greatest benefit to your clients, do you think?
Well, a fantastic side effect of this, I guess, is that we can match up clients to a lawyer better, because rather than being limited to having a certain number of lawyers with particular qualifications in the centre of an evening, now that we are remote and matching a client to a lawyer is with that very particular set of expertise or experience has become easier, and linking them up. And so I think clients are receiving a better service because we have become remote.
Elaine, thank you so much. You talk about the remoteness, but it looks as though, and I may be doing a disservice to your house, but it looks as though you might be in an office right now.
I am. Fortunately, I'm in walking distance of my offices. So so that's been very helpful, because of course we've been terribly busy. So yes.
Very 2019, and I hope 2021, but we shall see. Thank you so much, Elaine. Well done. Good work. Congratulations to you and to your team as well. Now, our last award of the evening, this is when normally Christina and I, particularly me actually, would be looking forward to the canapes.
And the champagne.
And the champagne. It's a complete blow. It's one of the highlights of the year, actually. And it's hosted normally, isn't it, in the Law Society?
Yes.
A very beautiful building in town. And we hope to be there again next year. My dad and I usually stand in the entrance just to make sure we get easy access to the canapes, which is probably not very becoming of him, given that he's a former High Court judge.
Making a bridgehead over the canapé table. I like it, yeah.
Indeed. And you've just made a bridgehead from the canapé table to another award, which is actually very, very important. Our last award of the evening, then, is for Most Effective Pro Bono Partnership. Nominations for all the categories have been exceptionally strong this year, leaving the judges with some difficult decisions, as you might think. Now, this is as much so for the Most Effective Pro Bono Partnership Award. All those shortlisted are impressive, and their nominations are of a very high quality. Between them, the finalists demonstrate how lawyers, law schools, firms, and in-house teams can work successfully together, and in partnership with charities, law centres, advice agencies, and others. All the finalists are very worthy of recognition. Now, the finalists are DV Flag East and the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham, Innocence Project London and Weil, Gottschall and Manges, the National Centre for Domestic Violence, Dentons and NatWest Legal, RCJ Advice and Advocate, Shoesmiths and the Manuel Bravo Project, and Toynbee Hall and Cleary, Gottlieb, Steen and Hamilton. Some of those names you'll have recognised from earlier in the evening. Before announcing the winner, the judges would like, as usual, to recognise as highly commended the Shoesmiths and the Manuel Bravo Project, and DV Flag East and the London Borough of Barking and Dagenham.
The winner is a partnership now in its 5th year, serving some of the most challenged and diverse communities in London, including through a pioneering women-only clinic that provides a safe space for women on issues from domestic violence, housing to immigration, and operates a psychologically informed environment model of advice. The winner of the Most Effective Pro Bono Partnership is Toynbee Hall and Cleary, Gottlieb, Stein and Hamilton.
Yasmin, well done, well done, well done. Actually, your name reminds me of the spring months this year when I used to test whether I could smell things in this COVID world of ours, when I used to pass the jasmine on the streets near where I live in London. It's a beautiful name. Well done. You've done fantastically well. I just want to get a sense from you how you feel personally that this partnership with Cleary Gottlieb has actually helped Toynbee Hall.
It's helped us tremendously. Cleary have been a dream to work with very hands-on. They've always been up to assisting with new projects, and it's been a strong partnership. It's gone from strength to strength throughout the years. So we're very grateful.
What do you think it is that makes it work so well?
It's a good working relationship between the volunteers and the team at Toynbee Hall, and just the fact that they're so willing to assist. They genuinely want to help.
Jasmine, enjoy this success. Enjoy however you're going to celebrate. Well done, and keep up the good work next year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to Jasmine. Well, thank you to all of you. Thank you to everyone who has taken part this evening. Thank you to LawWorks themselves for making this all possible. Most importantly, thank you to all of those of you who have dedicated so much of your time this year, of all years, to help your fellow human beings. It does not go unrecognised whether you actually won an award tonight or not. It really, really matters. And I hope you continue to inspire all of us. You certainly inspire me throughout 2021 as well. So congratulations to all the winners and everyone shortlisted. Usually, as I've suggested earlier, at this stage of the evening, I'd be inviting everyone to join the winners and the finalists for canapes. Those, of course, who survived my really bad jokes last year. I hope instead that you have your own, some left, but I hope you instead enjoy your bottle of bubbly if you've got one at home or something equivalent to celebrate this year's incredibly deserving finalists and winners. If you've got homemade canapes, all the better. Thank you for joining our first ever virtual Pro Bono Awards ceremony that has been very smooth, I hope, not because of me, certainly partly because of Christina, but also because of all the brilliant tech people who have made it such a pleasure to put together this evening. So thank you to all of you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being part of this virtual awards ceremony. And we very much hope to see you in person at next year's awards. We'll leave you with some images of some of LawWorks' previous awards evenings. And we hope these images will encourage you to keep on with what you're doing, because as I say, it really, really matters. It's so important. And if you weren't one of this year's winners, do nominate next year. We want everyone who does pro bono work to achieve the recognition that they quite rightly deserve. Thanks and congratulations to tonight's winners once more. You're our real heroes, and I mean that. I mean, that was a sort of scripted thing, but you really are heroes. You do inspire us all. Thank you to all of you tonight, and indeed for your hard work this year. Take care, everybody. Have a very safe Christmas, I hope, and see you in 2021.